Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here, Raiken Profit over at RaikenProfit.com, coming back to you with another video inside my new house. And in today's video, I wanted to share the top 25 mistakes that you need to avoid if you're selling books on Amazon. So, I've got my computer here, I've got this huge list, and if you're new to selling books, or maybe you've only been doing it for about 90 days or 6 months, and maybe you're going through some struggles, some ups and downs, and maybe you've seen my videos, you've heard of the success stories of other people. My good friend Avery, he's done over $1 million approximately in the last year. My mom, she's 67 now, she retired, she's selling anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I've been selling books for over 7 years. I've helped hundreds of thousands of people, if you check my YouTube channel and some of the comments, to help start, profitable book businesses. So I do want to say, if you're watching this video right now, in 2021, this is the video for 2021. I'm sure a lot of this will apply for the next couple of years, but especially if you're watching this now, this video is extremely relevant because there's been a lot of changes and there's been a lot of updates. And if you've watched some of my old videos, there's a lot of changes that you have to keep in mind. And if you want to be able to build a profitable book business, you're going to have to keep these 25 things in mind. So I'm going to kind of fly through these 25 mistakes to avoid, because this video would be like 2 hours. But I do want to mention that myself and my good friend Avery, who's done over 7 figures in the last year selling books, we're going to be hosting a free webinar. So I'm going to put that link down below, and we're going to really go in depth. We're going to share, the 5 steps to making your first $5,000 a month selling books. So check that out. That's going to be going down on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll put the link to that below. We're going to be live answering questions. So if, there's some things that you still want to know more about, drop a comment below. Let me know what you learned. I'll answer those questions. But at the webinar, I'll be able to really go in depth. So let's get right into it. And again, I'm going to be kind of moving quickly because I want to get through these and I really want to help you out. So mistake number 1, guessing what books to buy. I hear this so often, but people are like, I went to my thrift store and I bought a bunch of books. I brought them home and they were a waste of money. They weren't profitable. You've got to download an app. I recommend using Scout IQ, and I'll put a link to that down below, a 28-day free trial. But you want to check out Scout IQ. Scout IQ will help you to scan books, and you can put an AirPod in your ear and it'll make a noise and let you know, should you buy it, should you pass on it, and even on the screen, it'll show green for buy and red for pass. So it makes it so much easier. It'll tell you what it's selling for, how quick, how long it's going to take to sell. So get an app, don't go in there blind. Number 2, you've got to learn about Keepa charts and eScore. Okay, so let me adjust this camera really quick. Pretty much what a Keepa chart is it's a chart that kind of gives you data on the history of the book, right? So for example, some books sell really well in March and April. Some books sell really well, in October or November. And some books might only be selling for $10, $15 now, but at a later date, they spike up to $30 or $40 based on seasonality. You want to learn about Keepa charts. It's a Chrome extension, and it will kind of give you an idea of what things are selling for over the year. An eScore is a number that's associated to when you scan a book that essentially is pulling the data from a Keepa chart to tell you how many times that book is sold over the last 6 months. So if you use the Amazon seller app, you're going to be lacking a lot of information to be able to make a really good, strong decision. And I'm telling you right now, look more into these. This is really going to make a difference in your book business. You can no longer go out there and just scan with the Amazon seller app. There's too much competition. There's too many things that could go wrong. You've got to understand Keepa charts and eScore, and that'll give you a big upper hand. Mistake number 3, not checking condition. If you're new, if you're on a budget, if you don't have, hundreds and thousands of dollars of disposable income to just waste, right? Which I don't think anybody does nowadays. You've got to make sure you check the condition of the books, right? Just skim through the book really quick. Check to see if there's any pages missing. Check to see if there's any water damage. Make sure that the book you scan is actually the book that you're buying. Sometimes when you scan it on Scout IQ or Amazon seller app, it'll come up profitable, but it might have a different cover or it might be a completely different book. So you've got to check the condition, make sure you're buying what you think you're buying. Number 4, too many people are getting discouraged too quickly at thrift stores because they go once or twice and they don't find anything profitable. You've got to go consistently, and you've got to learn what days and what times work best. And I'm going to dive more into building relationships and networking, but make make friends with the people who work there. They'll let you know when new books are coming out. What are the best days? What are the dates and times that employees aren't working and putting out new inventory? You've got to learn that. It's huge. Number 5, only sourcing from thrift stores. And I'm being serious right now. Most people only sell and buy from thrift stores, and they think that's the only place you could find books. Most people think the only way you could find books is at thrift stores. Goodwill, Savers, Salvation Army. You can find books at so many different locations. And at the webinar that Avery and I are going to be hosting on Wednesday, we're going to dive into a lot more advanced ways to find books outside of just garage sales or Facebook Marketplace. And I'm going to cover a couple in this video, but definitely check out the webinar. Sign up. It's the first link in the description because we're going to cover a ton of different ways to source. And Avery and I, we personally have over 50 ways that we find books, a lot of outside the box ways to find books. So don't just go to thrift stores. Thrift stores are great, but they're very, very competitive. Number 6, don't pass on restricted books. So when you sell books on Amazon, some of the books are going to be restricted, which means you're gated off. You can't sell it. You got to get approval. How do you get approved? Through wholesale invoices. But with books, it's a little different. They're making it challenging now. So I use a service called restrictedinventory.com. I'll put a link to that down below. That's Avery's service. You could send him any book that's restricted. You split the profit 50-50. And why pass on a $100 profit book just because you're restricted? Just send it to Avery, send it to restrictedinventory.com, and just split the profits. That's a big mistake I see people making. Number 7, avoiding books with ranks over 1 million. All because a book is ranked over 1 million doesn't mean it can't make you a ton of money, right? A rank is just a snapshot in time of the sales velocity over time. It doesn't really tell you how many times that book is sold over the last 6 months, 12 months, 3 months, so on and so forth. That's why you got to learn about Keepa charts and eScore. But there's a lot of money to be made on long tail books that have a rank over $1 million. So we'll be covering that more in the webinar, but don't pass on books over 1 million. You got to be smart about it, but you got to dive deeper. Mistake number 8, passing on box sets. Some of the most profitable books in media that I love to flip are box sets of DVDs, box sets of CDs, but we're talking books here. If you get a collection of books, all you have to do is shrink wrap them, put them together, put a label on the outside, and ship it in. You can make a lot of money on box sets. I love box sets. Don't pass them up. Number 9, selling as a merchant seller versus an FBA. I'm not going to go deep into this right now, but a merchant is essentially like an eBay seller. You hold everything at your house. You ship it from your house. It takes a lot longer to get to the customer. You can make a lot more money selling as an FBA seller. Yeah, the fees are a little bit higher, but they're going to sell that much quicker. And there's that trust element because people think that they're purchasing from Amazon, right? They don't realize they're buying from a third-party seller. FBA is the way to go with books. Mistake number 10, listing on Amazon Seller Central. Amazon Seller Central is free. It just takes forever to list a book. It might take me 3 to 4 minutes to list a book on Amazon Seller Central. But if I use a third-party listing software, I use AccelerList, you can list a book in like 20 seconds. Time is money. Once you build your business up enough, get away from listing on Amazon Seller Central. Mistake number 11, printing using an inkjet or a laser printer. That's the 30-up labels versus using a Dymo 450. A Dymo 450 will link up to AccelerList. It'll link up to a third-party listing software. So when you actually scan a book in and you list it, it'll shoot the label out and you slap it on over the barcode and you ship it off. It's so easy. But if you're using the 30-up labels, then you have to peel each label. You have to find each book. It literally takes like 5 times longer to do that. Yeah, it's less expensive. You don't have to buy the Dymo printers, which could be hundreds of dollars, but it's just very time consuming. So in the beginning, it's okay to, use the Amazon Seller app. It's okay to not use a third-party listing software. It's okay to not have all the best tools because, let's just be real. There's a lot of people who don't have, $1,000 to start this business. A lot of people are starting on a shoestring budget, but just keep that in mind, okay? Mistake number 12. This is a big mistake that holds a lot of people back from starting a book business. And they say, Steve, the rates at USPS are going through the roof. Everything's so expensive. Maybe you sell on eBay and, eBay just had another price hike like always. You think to yourself, I'm not going to sell books. Books are heavy. Books are going to cost a lot of money. I'm telling you right now, books are so cheap selling on Amazon FBA because Amazon partnered up with UPS and you get dirt cheap shipping rates. A lot of times you can, ship books for, literally 10 to 20 cents a book. if not less, depending on where you're shipping to. There's fulfillment centers all over. So if you're in Tennessee and you're shipping to somewhere in Tennessee, I mean, you could ship books so cheap, it's not even funny. So don't be held back because of shipping rates. Shipping rates are so cheap because of the partner deal that they put together. All right, mistake number 13, believing that books don't sell because we live in a digital world. This is something that actually held me back in the beginning because, I don't know if you guys know, but I used to run an ebook business on Kindle, Amazon Kindle. And at one point I was doing over 10,000 a month selling digital books. And I was thinking to myself, I'm crushing it with this. Who's ever going to buy physical books? And when I learned about physical books, I kind of had some limiting beliefs. But over time, I realized people love having a good, hard book in their hand. And, even textbooks, a lot of people think, well, with the virtual world, with everything that's going on, Zoom calls, and, people aren't in the physical presence anymore. You'd think that textbook sales would really slow down, but they're actually increasing. Book sales, textbook sales, over the last 7 years, it's been increasing and increasing, and it's really odd. I'll have to talk more about it another time, but yeah, don't be held back by that belief. Physical books sell extremely well. Here's another mistake, mistake number 14, not starting a book business because you are worried about the competition. And you're gonna notice some of these mistakes are gonna be about not starting a book business, because that's another mistake. Leaving books at the thrift stores, leaving books at the library sales, leaving books just for the grabs. Books are very, very profitable and they're super inexpensive. You could buy books for $1 or $2 and flip them for 50 to $100. So some of these books are going to be, kind of geared towards not starting the business. So a lot of people don't start because they're worried about competition. Here's the thing. There are millions and millions of books out there. And there's even more people looking for books. Who cares if you got 5, 10, 15, 20 people in your area, scanning the thrift stores? First and foremost, thrift stores are the easiest, lowest hanging fruit. So that's where all the competition's going. In the webinar, Avery and I, we're going to talk about tons of other ways. We have, like I said, over 50 ways to find books. So don't be worried about competition. There's hundreds of thousands of millions of books out there. I'm telling you, if you think outside the box, that's the last thing you actually have to worry about. Mistake number 15, scanning without a handheld scanner. So, I like to use a Natamu scanner. It's cheap. It's like $60 on Amazon. But you want to get an external Bluetooth scanner that links up to your phone and allows you to just scan through all the books, right? Bada bing, bada boom, the profits are coming soon. If you're scanning with a barcode scanner, you can fly through it. If you're using the camera on your phone to scan, it's just going to take forever, and time is money. So get yourself a handheld scanner. Mistake number 16, scanning with the Amazon Seller app. Now, again, if you're on a budget and you don't have a lot of money, start using the Amazon Seller app. List on Amazon Seller Central. Use your Inkjet printer, right? Because you want to start making some money before you start investing thousands of dollars into a business that you don't even know is going to work, because you're just listening to me. You're not going to believe it until you start seeing profits yourself. So eventually get away from the Amazon Seller app. It just takes too long to scan. And like I said, time is money. You want to be efficient. Number 17, we moving quick. Purchasing books that make too little profit. Be very careful buying books that maybe have a higher rank, over 6, 7, 800,000, that are only going to make $2 or $3 profit. You've got to learn Keepa charts. You've got to learn about eScore. At the webinar, we're going to dive much deeper into this, but understand prices change, prices fluctuate. And all because a book's going to make you $5 profit today, it doesn't mean it's going to make you $5 profit tomorrow. It could actually lose you money based on the competitors, the condition, the seasonality effect. So you've really got to understand how to analyze books properly. All right, let's get into mistake number 18, undercutting the competition with all your books. This was a big mistake that I made, and my mom, again, I talked about her in the beginning. She's 67. She's been selling books for over 6 years. She does $3,000 to $5,000 a month. I'm so proud of her. I couldn't be more of a prouder son seeing her take control of her financial life and being able to retire early by selling books. But a big mistake she made is, she was in this poverty mindset where she thought, oh my God, the books are never going to sell. I've got to be the lowest price. And, she was freaking out, and she actually started making more profit when she raised her price. So there's a science to it. We'll talk more about it in the webinar. Again, link down below. I'm sorry to keep pushing the webinar, but I know you guys are going to have a million questions, and I'll be able to do live Q&A there. But don't fall into the mistake of being the lowest price every time. There's so many things to factor in terms of your feedback, the condition, the rarity of the book, how many competitors there are. So just keep that in mind. Mistake number 19, keeping what you do a secret, right? I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm a bookseller. I'm going to keep this all to myself, right? It goes back to that poverty mindset again. You're so worried about the competition. You're so worried, there's not enough to go around. There's enough to go around. But the biggest problem is when you keep it to yourself, you're relying on having to always find books. If you tell people, if you create business cards, if you share what you do, you'd be surprised how many people reach out to you with house cleanouts, right? With friends of the library, with people at the thrift store, with just friends and family who have tons of books. People think books are junk. They literally think books are trash. Good. Think books are trash. I'll take them and flip them for a profit, and you will too. Let people know what you're doing. Mistake number 20, and it ain't even funny, not repricing your books. As an Amazon seller, as a bookseller, more than ever in 2021, with more competition doing this, and I don't say that to scare you, but it's the reality. We're living in a digital, virtual world, and with everything going on right now, it's accelerated it. More and more people are working from home. There's more competition. You've got to be on your game. You've got to pay attention to the details. And one of the details you have to pay attention to is, the price. Prices fluctuate. More people come in, less people come in, things change. So you've got to keep an eye on repricing your books and getting a repricer. I like repricer.com. You can set up different rules to raise the price, lower the price based on what's happening. So this can make you a lot more profit and flip your profits quicker. So keep an eye out for that. Mistake number 21, not posting free ads on Facebook or Nextdoor app. Avery and I, we're going to talk about this in the webinar, but the Nextdoor app is a free app that you can use to put up free book pickup ads. And you might be thinking this is a bunch of BS. No one's going to give me free books. You'd be surprised, right? Avery and I, we run the Book Business Blueprint. We have a community. We have a program that we sell that teaches people how to start a book business. We've had over 1,500 people enroll in that program. We've helped so many people. We've had so many amazing testimonials and so many great success stories. And the number one thing that we teach in our program is to start off by posting free book pickups on Nextdoor app. Prices are increasing at thrift stores. There's more competition coming in thrift stores. What's one of the best ways to get books, right? One of the 50 things that we talk about, post on the Nextdoor app. I'm telling you, don't listen to me, do it yourself, and you'll see. It's a hustle, but it's really, really good. Okay, mistake number 22. This is a pretty obvious one, but if you're new, you might not realize it. Passing on books without a barcode. If a book doesn't have a barcode, type in the ISBN or use the Amazon seller app to scan the cover. You can pull up the title that way, or you can just type in the title into your app, Scout IQ, Amazon seller app, Scoutly, whatever you use, and pull up the book. It's a mistake a lot of people don't realize, but there's a lot of profitable books people leave behind. Mistake number 23, and I'm running out of air. Not investing in continuing education. You've got to keep watching YouTube videos. You've got to join the Facebook groups. If you want to join the Book Business Blueprint, I'm not here to pitch you on it, but that would be great. You would learn and you'd accelerate your growth that much faster. Whoever you decide to learn from, that's up to you, but continue to educate, continue to learn. There's free ways, there's paid ways, but things are always changing. When you're running an Amazon business, there's a guarantee, and that guarantee is that things are going to change, right? It creates stress, but being a part of community, having people that you can, trust and learn from can help you with that. Mistake number 24, buying, and not shipping into Amazon. We call that the death pile. You don't want a death pile. When you're selling on Amazon FBA, let Amazon deal with the death pile, because with FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, you throw all the books in a box, you ship them off to Amazon, they store it at the warehouse, then they pick it, pack it, ship it. But you ain't making any money the books are sitting at your house. Don't just get into the habit of buying. Get those books out to Amazon. Get those books flipping and turning. And last but not least, quitting too soon. I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but running any business is going to come with a set of challenges and issues. And there's going to be ups and downs, peaks and valleys, and things are going to go wrong. People are going to return books. You're going to have issues with the KPIs. There's going to be different things that come up in your business. But the key, I'm telling you right now, is don't quit. Keep pushing forward, keep growing, keep learning. And I'm telling you, it will be worth it. Books are one of the best items to buy and resell. I love them because they're cheap, they're inexpensive, they're everywhere. People love them, people need them. It's a great way to help people. Books help people to learn and grow and develop. And I'm telling you right now, I love books. I'll always love books. And there's a special place in my heart with books because I taught my mom how to do it. And if it wasn't for books, I don't know what my mom would be doing, right? She'd probably still be having to work. And, you know, it's tough when you get older to continue working with health issues, and, you know, you want to enjoy life. You want to have your freedom. So I'm blessed and grateful to have to be in a position to help my mom, and to be able to have helped hundreds and thousands of people over the last 5 years doing this. So hopefully this video helped. If it did help you, do me a favor and smash that like button. Let me know. It helps with the algorithm, helps to get this video out. Leave a comment. Let me know what you learned. And yeah, make sure to join the webinar. The webinar is going to be going down on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I will put a link down below to that. It's going to be live. I'm going to be there with Avery, who's done over 7 figures with books over the last year, give or take. I think it's 7 figures. It might be a little less, a little more, but he's done millions of dollars in books over the last 3 to 4 years. And we're going to be going over the 5 secrets starting a book business. We're going to go in depth. We're going to open up the floor to Q&A. We're going to help you. We're going to answer every question. So with that being said, much love. Hopefully this added a ton of value to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.